r slash Tales from Retail. Okay, based off the title you may think I'm a customer or some crazed security activist. I am writing this to protect you from losing money you know is on a gift card that is empty. For some context, I am an employee at a large hardware retailer. If you look at my other posts you can tell which one. Recently I had a customer come through my line with a $50 gift card. I don't recall the exact amount. It was a normal transaction, and when it came to pay the customer handed me a gift card with $50 written on it. I scan the card and scratch off the pin on the card. It is important to note it is impossible to use any of our gift cards without the pin even on our website. Then I get an error saying this card has a $0 balance. Please collect gift card. I tried telling the customer that the card was empty and that they were welcome to keep it to reload it later if they wanted. We don't actually have to collect the gift cards since they are reloadable. They were insistent that there were funds on the card. I did think it strange that a gift card that had not even been opened was empty. After all, I did not get a gift card not activated message. So I called over my manager to take a look at it. Now the company I work for has a system that allows you to look at a gift card's balance, history, and origin from any register using a manager's login. I won't go into too much detail about the system because I might get in trouble for disclosing sensitive information. My manager comes over and proceeds to look up the card in the system and see that in fact it was loaded with $50 and had no other history, deposit or withdrawal, in any way. This was odd since the register was saying it is empty. So my manager called up the store that the gift card was purchased at and talked to the manager over there for about 20 minutes. We did not get any resolution because the company has a strict no activation or disclosure of information of gift cards over the phone policy. So our efforts were in vain. My manager then decided to mark down the transaction the amount of the gift card. It was at the last minute that we decided to try the gift card one more time before discounting anything, just so we could say we tried everything, and for some odd reason it worked. It took a full $50 off the transaction. My manager then proceeded to give the customer a 10% discount for the troubles and they went on their way. Now, I want retail employees to think about the times that a customer came to the register with a gift card for X amount of money and later found out it was empty. Customers, I want you to think about the times that you went to a store or retailer and were told that your gift card was empty even though you never or rarely used it. All this time you could have had money on the card and the system was just not working. Then you are out $XX.XX amount of money. What I encourage you to do is keep a gift card when it says it is empty and you swear there is money on it. Employees, I encourage you to give back the customer's gift card for them to try again later unless the customer is sure it is empty. If after a few attempts the card is still saying empty, talk to the customer service desk or a member of management and have them check the balance and / or history of the card. Sometimes the card is empty, was used by someone else, spouse or family member, or forgotten / expired. However, the card is not always empty. It is worth checking, especially if you don't recall using it or if it has not even been opened. This was from a couple years ago, but it still makes me laugh. So I worked at a children's clothing store and I was wearing a necklace my father had given me before he died. The necklace was in the shape of his home country with a phrase on it in Arabic. I'm working register and a lady comes up to check out some items, and as I'm ringing her up she asked why I was wearing that necklace. I didn't really get what she meant, but I said my dad gave it to me, it's the country my family is from. She then tells me her family is from there and begins to speak to me in Arabic. I stopped her and apologized. I only knew very little Arabic and apologized for any inconvenience it caused. She then looked me in the eye and said something like, your father didn't raise you right, my children were raised speaking it. You're not really home country nationality and he failed raising you as one of us. I then told her with a smile on my face that I was sure my father would have loved to teach me more Arabic if he had left behind a Ouija board when he died, but she was right, he should have made more of an effort to teach me from beyond the grave. She gave me a dirty look, grabbed her items and left. I'm a manager at a beauty supply store that offers certain salon services as well. I was closing the store the other night and the only guest we had left was an older lady who had just gotten her hair done. It's a few minutes past close, so the door is already locked and I'm already shutting down registers. The lady comes up to check out, so I call my cashier over to help her while I finish closing the register I'm on. Because of some irrelevant company stuff, my cashier had to ask for the customer's ID. The lady is very upset about it and asks why we need it, so I explain the recent policy changes and apologize for the inconvenience. She is still very upset. I only asked because this has not been asked of me before, and I'm well within my legal rights to ask. I explained again that it was a recent development. The cashier then asks how much she'd like to tip the stylist that did her hair. The lady becomes livid again, saying that it was a personal thing and she shouldn't have to tell us. I explained that if she wanted to give her a cash tip personally then we wouldn't have to know, but if she wanted to put it on her transaction we'd have to know so we could key it in. She said I've done that before and refused to say how much she wants to tip, opting to write IT down and hand IT to the cashier. She then complains that it's the first time she's ever come in here and had a bad experience. I apologize and ask what we could do to improve it for her and all she said is I don't have to talk to you. She then asks my cashier for her name, and writes it down. Then she asks the cashier for my name even though I'm still standing right there. My poor cashier, who's been wildly uncomfortable through this whole experience, stumbled saying my name and said I was her manager, so I told the lady loud and clear what my name was and told her to have a wonderful night. I used to work for a national retailer that specialized in agricultural supplies. I had been there for approximately 4 months when I was taught how to make tire chains. To be clear, when I say tire chains, I mean tractor tire chains. Depending on the size of the tire, these chains can weigh upwards of 100 pounds per tire. The customer gave me his tire size, and I headed to the back to make his chains. I grabbed a cart along the way to put his chains in, as I knew they would be heavy. I started measuring out the chain needed, and cut the links. I spent approximately 30 minutes making the tire chains requested, but I didn't think that was a problem. When I finished, I loaded the cart and pushed the chains back to the sales counter. I wrote up an order slip for the customer and sent him to the register. I didn't work for a few days, but when I returned I was called into the manager's office. It seems the gentleman who received these chains called corporate to complain about me. I tried to imagine what I did to upset this man. Did I overcharge him? Did I make him wait too long? Did I make the chains wrong? No. The manager goes on to inform me that I sold this man 2 tractor tire chains but only billed him for 1. Since the chains were in the shopping cart, the cashier was unable to catch my mistake and only billed him for 1 tire chain. So, this guy saved nearly $150 and decided it was a good idea to complain about it. So one would expect that he came in and paid what he owed, right? No, for being a whistleblower he was given the other chain for free. Customer saves $150. I nearly lose my job. Sounds fair. I can guarantee you, I never let that happen again. Neither did I see that customer again. So this happened last year around Christmas time, but I just found this subreddit and thought it would be perfect for it. I was working the till. It was only about 3 weeks into me working in the store, big discount department store. I was just coming up to the end of my shift when a customer, an older lady, not very friendly but also not terrible, at least not at the start, came up to the till with a basket. She got a pair of trousers for $9.99 and some other items, and her total came up to roughly $35.04. She gave me $35.05 and waited for her receipt. I gave it to her and also her penny change, which seemed to trigger her. See customer. Me. See, why are you giving me a penny back? I gave you exact change. Oh no, you gave me $35.05 when the total was $35.04, so that's your change, miss. See, no it's not, the total is $35.05. You must have done something wrong, I counted. I don't know what to say, miss, it will show you everything on the receipt, Rig. See, I know my total, you did something wrong. You're gonna get me in trouble, I want a refund. Miss, I can't process a refund in here, I am not trained to do so, let me just show you the receipt and see, you can give me a refund, now. You messed up. You can do anything if you really want to. At this point I was getting really stressed, the customer was shouting at me and kept telling me I did something wrong, and at that point I was very iffy about calling the manager on anything. I had another customer, bless her soul, waiting in queue, but she was later being served by another employee. I managed to get her to stop shouting at me just so I could show her the receipt, and pointed out that the trousers are 9.99 CO. I thought they were £10. That's fine. And just walked away with her stuff. My manager came up to me asking what had happened because she heard someone shouting, and instead of explaining I just started crying, and the customer that was waiting behind her started explaining that it wasn't my fault. Honestly, I just wanted to get that out of me, it's my first proper post, so sorry for any mistakes. I work at a very small, locally owned store. It's technically official policy that, even if the store is closed, no one can clock out and leave until there's no customers left in the store. I've been held back by this policy a few times in the past, but generally the managers I work with let me leave if I've finished all the closing chores and anything on the to-do list for the day. But of course, the store owner sticks to their guns on this policy. About a week or two ago, my usual manager was a no-show, so the store owner stepped in for the day. Everything went well until closing, in which a customer comes in about 5 or 10 minutes to close. No biggie, happens all the time. My coworker goes through the whole customer service rigmarole, do you need any help, etc. Nope, just looking. Okay. Then the store closes. It's important to note here that my shift rolls over when I would usually eat lunch, and it is now dinner time. I'm tired, hungry, and ready to go home. I've finished everything I need to get done for the day, and I inform the store manager of this. Okay, you can leave once this last customer is gone. Fine. I go ask her if she needs any help. Nope. Just looking. Whatever. The store owner locks the front doors to prevent any other customers from walking in and extending this waking nightmare, then goes and tells the customer that she'll need to find them when she's ready to leave so they can unlock the doors for her to get out because we're closed. They ask if there's anything they can help her find. Nope, just looking. 10 minutes past closing, my coworker and I are very closely hovering around this lady like she's the prime suspect of a string of thefts while she surfs the shelves at her own leisure. Not even as anything in particular, she just wanted to see what we had. There were multiple times I strongly considered telling her, "Ma'am, I don't get to go home until you leave." It's also worth mentioning that my ride was waiting outside for me this entire time. Finally, almost 20 minutes after the store closed, she leaves. Did she buy anything? No, of course not.